Alright. Alright, well, you agree to recorder, right? So, Sally, we were asking about three types of sufferings, right? So, in Sanskrit, when suffering is translated from the Sanskrit term dukkha. So, dukkha, the term is actually mentioned in the Heart Sutra, right? So, it depends on how you categorize it. The common one is the three types of suffering. But if you were to, you know, refine into even more categories, you can end up with eight types of sufferings. Yeah, but we just cover the three dukkhas, the three sufferings. Three means three. Okay, so the first type of suffering is quite simple. The most common type that everybody will interpret what suffering is when you use that term. So it can be, pains, aches, miseries. So it basically whatever a human being is living through their life, right? So could be physical, mental, emotional, psychological. So, but it basically is saying the journey of a lifetime. Your birth, you growing old, then you have sicknesses and eventual death. You know, the, you can pretty much lump into this put them into these four major experiences of lifetime. And this is what we mean by suffering, because that means you're going to suffer physically, right? Emotional, psychologically, all aspect as a human being, living human being. You suffer through the fourth stage of birth or age sickness, etc. So this is the most common type of suffering. Then there are two other types. What are the two types? Is suffering of what we call, the prime. Buddhist teaching is the idea is called impermanence. Nothing lasts. Everything changes. So nothing is eternal. Okay, everything we know, every phenomenon we can put our head, finger pointing to it, they're all impermanent. Nothing lasts forever the same. So, so that is a suffering itself in the sense what? In the sense of suffering of changes. Nobody wants changes. 99% of the population in the world don't adapt to change very well. That's why the reality of this human world is 99% of the people don't become very successful in whatever field they do, whatever field pursues their subject studies. Only 1%, that's just general idea. The 1% becomes successful, whatever they pursue. Okay. So I'm not discriminating whatever field or subject they pursue. Okay, just in general. Now, why is that? That's the reality of the world. Because majority of the people don't like change. They like things stay put. You get the idea? Because people want to feel secure, so they don't like to take risk. Right? And the society today is conditioned exactly in this way. So 99% of people will live a life of mediocrities. Only 1% willing to take risks, then go explore all about life, right? Everything possible, take risk. Then they become successful whatever they pursue. You know, that's why, that's just my humble opinion, my observation. So that is the second type of suffering of change. The in itself, such impermanent state to majority of human experience is suffering. We don't like change. You think? We are a creature of habit, right? So yeah, then of course, then you can further, put it into subcategory, but we don't get into that. So, here's the third type of suffering, right? Three types of suffering. Number one, the common one, pains and ache, all about human being lifetime experience, that kind of suffering. Number two, suffering of change. We don't like change, so we're suffering in that. And number three is the suffering of conditionings, right? So when we say conditioning in the Heart Sutra, that's why I say Heart Sutra is very important text to really study well and to really understand it and even remember the whole thing. That's it is very helpful to study Buddha's teaching. In the Heart Sutra, the term they often use called skandhas is often translated as a bundle of clouding. Oh, aggregates. When I use the word cloud, I don't mean the cloud in the sky. It's like something cloudy, an aggregate. It bundles together. It becomes a bundle, right? So it's skandha. It's kind of a covering. So we found out in this kind of a psychophysical aggregates called skandhas in the Heart Sutra, right? Skandhas, that's the Sanskrit term. So we basically saying we suffer being conditioned according to our experiences, right? So whatever life experiences you have, you're conditioned in a certain way, and we react in a conditioned way, right? So whatever cause and condition we have laid in our, through our karma, or now it's kind of like a seeds hidden down in our subconsciousness. We're not aware of them there, but we have bad memory. We don't have total recall, but they're there. So then we behave in a certain way is because according to the conditionings. And that condition is like in the Heart Sutra called skandha. It covers over your true natures, your soul in this sense. All right. So what is your true nature? In Buddhism, when we say true nature, the highest ideal is referring to that Buddha nature. Okay. Then what is the true nature of a human being? We all have a human nature. Okay. Then when we are fearful, because we want security, right? But we don't like change. Then what is the true nature of some, folks that gone to the extreme? They have bloody nature. We just call it that, put it that way. So then you basically implies the idea Buddha nature is the enlightened, awakened, true nature, right? But most people's so-called true nature is human nature is quite normal. Human nature, they have fears, insecurities, all this sort of stuff, right? Desires, then turn to greed. And then ultimately, if it turn to greed and never satisfied, and they want to hold on to permanency, they don't like change. Everybody like to go back to where the good old day is. That's why you end up with the Brexit, Donald Trump, protectionism, isolationism, that kind of things. I'm not into politics to avoid politics. Just kidding. So then you end up with this kind of a suffering of conditionings, right? So that's the three types of suffering. Okay, so kind of roughly cover the idea, the three sufferings. All right. Needless to say, the ultimate suffering, that combine all these three types of suffering, that is called the suffering of the samsara, the cycle of, birth and death, non-ending cycles. Okay. And how, and ultimately, why do we follow Buddha's teaching? Is to what? Relieve, or, to liberate ourselves from our own sufferings, our own creations. Right? So then we no longer, like a samsara is a cycle, of birth and death. It's like yin yang things. It just keep looping around. But yet we don't see the yin yang as oneness, one with all creation. We actually split the yin yang into dualistic sense, and that's the problem with majority of the people in this world, and that's why they end up into transmigrating through the six paths. Okay, that I give you a rough pictures, the idea, how suffering comes to be. So for example, in the 12 nidanas, the 12 things, the first thing is called avidya, ignorance, okay, not knowing. And such is the suffering of the condition. Then that begins the whole chain of reaction, linking causation, that we eventually lead to what? That will lead to, our eventual transmigration. Thirsty to know, we don't know. So that's our conditioning. Okay. Hopefully that answers this question about the three suffering. It's a very brief, it's cover the three ideas. But as I say, you can further refine it and put into, instead of three types of suffering, you could have 8 types of suffering. If you're in the I Ching course, then I send the links to the whole Wednesday class, for the first couple of talks already, watch them. Then you understand the numbers game and the yin yang the trinities, the four phenomena, the five natural processes, and so on and so forth till 八卦. So 3 and 8 are the pair numbers for element. When we say element, the beta terms really should be called natural processes. And such processes, the guidance or the pathway, so-called Dao, that we try to understand or try to gain that knowledge to realize it. Okay, so 3 and 8, right? That's the represent the Wu element in the cycle of the year. It is the beginning of the year. Usually that means spring is the first seasons, right? So a lunar year, winter will be the first season. In the solar time year, then spring will be the first season. Okay, so just briefly sidetrack. But anyway, let's resume where we were last week. So I think we came to the 4 namos, right? Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. If you don't know any other mantras, at least you know the 3 syllable Om Ahom, right? Well then, what is the very advanced, very important mantra? This one. Most students of Tantric Buddhism haven't realized this. This is the foundation, the most important mantras for the Tantric practitioners in the Buddha's path, the Bodhi path. Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. So you are, no translation for that. Namo is from the Sanskrit word like a namas, nama. Good name. In the name of or glorious. Rough interpretation. Guru. To the Guru. So I pay homage to the Guru, to the Buddha, to the Dharma, and to the Sangha. Okay. Namo Guru Be. Gu means hidden. Guhya, from the Sanskrit word. Ru is from Rushi. Rushi means light, illuminated, like a Lucy, lucky, right? So Guru, the key idea of the Guru, he's an uplifter, uplift from the state of ignorance to the, hidden, don't know, unclear, to the state of what? Clarity. So that's what the Guru is about. So the key idea is not about what's hidden. It's not about what's esoteric. The key idea is enlightened. Okay. Now Buddha, and then comes next one. Namo Buddhaya. Buddha is from the word Bu, which means to know. So we can translate Buddha as knower, the awakened one. So what do you know? It's not about information or knowledge. It's about the awaken of the true self. The true self is awakened. So now you know about the truth, the reality of nature. Okay. So the key idea is Bu, to know. So when you put, the Guru and the Buddha together, here's the idea. It's called enlightenment, right? Lu and Bu together. That idea, how would you put the words to the idea of Lu and Bu? Means enlightenment. Am I making this clear? It's quite simple, but most people never, look at this way. They never really, study enough or practice enough to realize this yet. And then comes next one, Namo Dhammaya. Dharma comes from the root and dar, to hold. Dharma is translated as the law of nature, of course, law of the truth. But Dharma can also be translated, depends on the connotation in the sentence, how you use it. Truth or phenomena. So it's truth, law, phenomena. Okay, method. So like a Methodist, they have a method to certain things because they follow a certain law, or they realize a certain truth. So that's why they follow a certain law. So they appear in such a methodical way, doing things or handling things. This sort of idea, right? So that all stems from this term, Dharma. But remember, Dharma has its root in the term Da. Like when we say, Vajradhara, Remember the mandala pictures image in the Vajradhara, on the top of the crown? Yeah. So da to hold. So dharma means that which I uphold, upholding the law. Or in this case, then the dharma, the term really means what do you ultimately uphold is the truth, universal truth. If you don't know how to, understand that, then the closest thing, or the things all about universal truth is called conscience. It's called Buddha nature. Okay? So now if you put Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya together, now what do you have? I adhere to the truth of enlightenment. That's why you go in Namo, pay homage to. Okay, it is not about idol. You go bow to a guru, your master, for example. I'm your master. Besides Ivory, we have the same master. Right? It's not about that. He's just a representative of that. That lineage, that traditions, or that, passing on this kind of sharing, this kind of realization, understandings. Right? He's just a step before you, a predecessor on the path. Right? So people should understand this a little bit better. When you say Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, and what are you adhering to ultimately, whether there's a human guru there or not, whether there's a historical Buddha, suddenly manifest himself in front of you or not, that's not the point. People fantasize too much. The point is Ru, Bu, and Da. I uphold the truth of enlightenment. Okay? Then Namo Sangaya, Sangha. All right. Community, that's often translated. Sangha has the idea of what? Harmony. Okay? To be one with all. So that's what Sangha means. And then if you will put Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, the four ideas together, then what it's saying here, I'm in harmony. I'm one with all of creations, which is what? The truth of enlightenment. Okay? So that's what it's not a translation. Okay, that is about awareness. How do you understand the mantra? You cannot translate it. But why do we chant mantra? When we don't know any better, we simply hear the mantra. We hold the mantras in our mind to develop the skills of concentration. So we discipline our monkey mind, in other words. So the mind is no longer divided. So whatever's on your mind, that's what you become. I mean, this part of the practice of the four preparatory foundations is called taking refuge. Remember? What's on your mind, that's what you become. If you seek refuge with other views and motives, rather than this kind of, you can call it idealistic, or you can call more, truthful, more enlightened motivations, then how are you going to accomplish this? Where is the refuge going to happen, right? Okay, so it is about awareness. As I say, it's bodhicitta, the mind of awareness, awaken, rising, the bodhicitta. That's the ultimate practice. If that takes place, then the rest of practice is only a matter of time. It's easy. If that haven't taken place, doesn't matter how much, how many lessons, how much practice you've done. Your bodhicitta is yet to wake up. Then it still may take you lifetimes after lifetimes to get there. But at least you lay in the cause and conditionings. Hopefully it will get there, right, in its own time. So time is not really relevant here. It's the quality of that attainment will be the same. Doesn't matter if you more expedient or you slower. Sooner or later you get there, right? So this is a very important mantra. If you don't get it yet, chant this mantra silently 100,000 times, 400,000, 100,000, 1.5 million times. Yeah, vocalize then silently mouse it, and eventually just silently chant. So we continue on from the visualization from last lesson. This is still taking refuge, remember? This is still only part of the, full preparatory foundation practice. So you realize this is a complete meditation on its own, right? But it's getting the understanding. You have the ideas to become the ideal. That is the important practice. So based on what we covered so far, the main idea is still introspection. So we build up this mandala image visualizations of Buddhas, Vajradharas, all the beings, all the sacred assemblies, the deities, if you will, Buddha and Bodhisattva, etc. Then now we come to the point, right? We chant this mantra silently. Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Next step, we continue to chant the 4 Namos. At the same time, you visualize this. Each of us have a guru we got initiated under. So whoever is your guru that initiated you, that's what you visualize, your guru, okay? As a representative of this body of knowledge or these traditions. Yeah. But don't idolize don't personify, idolize the person, right? It's it's supposed to be, as I say, Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddha, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. It's the truth of enlightenment. We want to be one with it, dissolve into one body with the truth, the enlightenment state. Okay. So visualize your guru, and then Shakyamuni Buddha. Just think about it. That's all. Remember, we already built this mandala visualization, right, with all the pieces there. So think about your guru. Think about Shakyamuni Buddha. Just be mindful of your guru there, mindful of Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, now it's on my mind. What's on my mind? That's what I become, right? And then think about all and every sutras or sacred books, if you will. It's not the book printed on page I'm talking about all these teachings, right? Representation of the Buddha, Guru, Buddha, Dharma, that's the teaching, right? Then here comes the Sangha. Then think about all and everyone else in this mandala, the image I've drawn. Last week we covered this, right? Here's the Sangha, like Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas, Shravakas, Dhammapada, etc., the 6 paths, and all and every one of my parents in the 6 transmigrating in the 6 paths. These are all, in other words, the Sangha is all of creation. That's the Sangha. All right, so there's no Buddhist community with our own little Sangha, social club, that kind of things. All right, in the narrow sense, only when you are duly initiated, ordained into the Sangha, are you really a Sangha member, right? But in the Mahayana tradition, the universal sense, then all of creation is a Sangha. If you are in harmony, one with all of creation, you're in the Sangha. If you're not in harmony with all of the creation, you're not one with all the creation, you are not in the Sangha yet. Yeah, I put. Now that's Mahayana tradition. Now if you go according to the Theravada tradition, then you have to be duly accepted, ordained into the Sangha. Right? And Buddha's Tana means you gotta have 10 existing Sangha members to properly acknowledge they accept you into the Sangha, right? At Buddha's time. So in that very strict sense, that I am not a Sangha member. None of you is a Sangha member, because I haven't been duly ordained by 10 existing Sangha members. Did you understand that? My master is one, right? Master Dechuan, he's duly ordained. He's in China, Mahayana tradition. But in the Mahayana tradition, we're not so strict. We are a little bit more universal, all inclusive. So that's why in the Tantric Buddhist tradition, they are even more open, right? So all of creation is Sangha. All right, so that's what the the idea of what we chant this mantra. That's the idea of visualization, is visualizing exactly what you chanting. Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Think of your master. Think of Shakyamuni Buddha and all every other Buddha. That's Guru Dharma. Then think of all the sacred books, the sutra. That's the Dharma teachings, right? Dharma. Guru Buddha Dharma. And here's the Sangha. Every other Bodhisattva, Pratyeka Buddhas, Shravakas, Arhats, Dhammapalas, Vajrapala, etc., right? So, including all and every parents in transmigrating in the sixth path, right? So, you think about them. Everyone as one body. You're one with all of creation, right? That means include all and everybody as one, right? They all, everyone at the same time, all illuminating, shining with the 5 colors of light. What are the 5 colors? The 5 Buddha colors, basically. The 5 wisdom Buddha color. White, red, blue, right? We have white, red, blue. And plus green and yellow. And so if you remember On Our Hong Soha, you have the 5 colors. That's the same 5 color in the On Our Hong Soha. Remember this? All right. So they all, everyone, they all shining with illuminating with a 5 color light. Okay? And they are nectars, right? As they illuminate this ray of light, they become nectars. The nectars filling through my crown here. So my crown centers, right? So the nectar drip into my crown, in other words. And also into all and every living beings. The nectar drip into through the crown center into all and every living being's crown. Okay? Everybody follow so far? All right, that's why you visualize. So take notes, compile your own notes for this. The nectar fills my, drip down my middle vein, right? Fills up from the bottom of my body internally, right? Fill up completely fulfill my whole body up to the top of the crown. Then it start to overflow, right? And therefore, it's cleansing, right? It's washing and cleansing all the karma, the 3 karmas, body, mind, and speech. And that's where the 3, you can also sometimes think of the 3 sufferings, okay? So it cleans all the 3 sufferings of the body, mind, and speech in me, all right? The next step of visualization, visualize in the front of your guru, okay, or your guru as your witness, in other words. Okay, all and every sin that you have committed, or every crime, whatever, bad habits, bad things, bad karmas you have done before. And so then they go on to list a whole bunch of things. We're not going to go to list a whole bunch of things, because it's just kind of, for example, like this, for example, like that. Basically, you all know this: thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, all this sort of stuff. Thou shalt not, destroy things. This kind of idea. Don't do bad things. Basically, bad deeds. Yeah. So all this kind of a bad karma that you have committed. Yeah. They all turn into black water. Okay. So again, all and every being is in the whole of creation, illuminating 5 color light. The light is turned into nectar. The nectar, it's like give me abhisheka. The nectar enters through the crown center into my body. It fills up my whole body, and it's cleansing my body of all these bad karmas, sins, crimes, whatever you want to call it. And they all turn to this black water, right? And all and every illness, or the 3 sufferings, if you want to call it here, all every illness and diseases, they all turn into red and yellow water. Okay, so first, okay, all the bad karma turn to black water, right? The nectar is the water, right? So water is the first element, cleansing action. Okay. Bad karma, they all turn to black water. All disease and illness, they all turn to red, yellow color. That's what you have to think about. Okay. And all and every demons, hindrance within yourself. Okay. And there's no other demon except yourself in yourself. Okay. All and every demons, hindrances, obstacles, they all turn into this, like a scorpions, poison snakes. In other words, this kind of a venomous bugs, if you will. Right? They'll turn into this, and all of this, whether the black water, the red, yellow water, or the venomous poison snake, bugs or scorpions, they'll flow out of all and every pores throughout your whole body. Okay, so you have pores on your skin, right? So now they all coming out because the Abhisheka, the nectar is cleansing. So they are coming out through the pores. Okay? And clearly, and very, very clearly, it cleans completely. Okay? Wash clean inside. Once it's washed clean inside, next you visualize light, become it begins to illuminate inside yourself. Light begins to shine very bright, and you feel very, you feel at ease, very comfortable. So all these things that's oozing out of your pore, right? The black water, the red, yellow water, and the scorpions, poison snakes, etc. They all drip downwards, oozing out of your pore, right? They're like a tiny little bits, not like a giant, because they're tiny, like a water droplet. They all drip downwards, okay? They all drip downwards to the bottom of your seat. Under that seat where you're sitting, right? If you're sitting in your seat, right? They drip downward. Now under the seat is a 6-tusk red elephant. Okay, that's why you have to visualize. Don't you'll be curious. I'd be curious too. Why visualize this sort of stuff? But that's the mental exercise. Let's put it this way: to get you focused on certain things. Eventually, come to the point you'll realize what this is all about. So do the practice first. So under your seat, there's a 6-tusk, 6, right? That's like a you don't see this 6-tusk elephant. I don't think you can see it today, but in the ancient time, they probably do exist. 6-tusk red elephant. It opens up its mouth, okay, and swallow them. The black water, yellow, red water, and the poisonous snake, all the scorpion, venomous spot, swallow them as its food. The red elephant eats them up. It's food for the red elephant, the 6-tusk red elephant. Okay. They all flow, right? Remember, that's all dripping out of your pores and flow downwards. So they all flow into the elephant's mouth. The elephant just swallows it up. So then you feel very light. So in other words, you have a right. Your right is the 6-tusk red elephant, right? There's your seat. Under your seat is the 6-tusk red elephant. But because you drip, you've been, given Abhisheka in the sense. So you're dripping all this, bad stuff out of your body. It's washing clean, right? And the elephant just said, oh, food, open up the mouth and swallow them all up. Okay? That's what you visualize. All right. And you feel, your body and mind becomes very blissful. And that, after so many practices, if you really enter that state, you feel this blissfulness. That's when what we call in the Zen school, we call when the mind becomes one with all of the condition of the environments around us. This merge into one. It's the Zen state, okay? That general idea. So only then will your fortunes and wisdoms really begin to grow. All right. Only then. Before that, you're just learning a bunch of stuff, collecting information, try to intellectualize, analyze things, develop your, study a subject, gain some knowledge. Wisdom, fortune and wisdoms only truly begin to grow if you let go all this bad karmas, red, black, yellow water, and Venus spark inside you, clean through, which means whatever's on your mind. Remember, you gotta retain some of the ideas. Okay, through this kind of imagery, it's like a mythology. They're teaching us certain ideas, so you can fulfill the ideals. Whatever's on your mind, you become so. So what do you mainly visualize? You visualize about Guru, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So they all shine light, and they turn into nectar. And nectar is like giving you abhisheka, wash you clean internally. So all the bad things inside you, they ooze out of your pores. They will drip downwards below your seat, and the ray elephant swallows it up as full. Okay, so that whole idea. And then only then would you feel blissfulness, right? So that's close to Zen, not Zen state yet. Blissfulness begin to happen. So you feel your body like a light. You feel very at peace. Okay, you literally feel you like hey, there's no weight. Like you're like floating. You feel your lightness, and you feel blissfulness. You feel you're at peace. Okay, literally, you have that sensations. That kind of things happen. It's like you lifting out of the chair. Something is like a waving, and you can like you're floating. That's what I can say. It's like you're gonna levitate, but you don't really levitate. You just have the sensation you're floating. Am I making any sense, or have any of you experienced that before? Okay. Or you think it's all nuts? It's okay. You can think that too. Then the gurus and the triple Jews, like Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Because of this, that blessings, continue. The power of blessings is given to you from the Guru, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Remember, you still chanting the four namos, Namo Guru, Be, Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha, right? As you visualize this. And never forget this mantras, right? Till the end of the future, the limit of, the boundaries of the universe, or the boundary of times, whatever you want to call that. Never lose that. That's what we call the Dara, to uphold and never lose it. So that's what the mind should be focusing on, is what? Using the representative of this supreme ideals. The representative are the Guru and the triple Jews. So we chant this mantra. Again, Nama Guru, Be, Nama Buddha, Nama Dhamma, Nama Sangha. Okay? That should be on your mind, but not about the personified, little ego imagery person, not the idols. I'm talking about the ideal. What, as I explained, right, in the last few lessons and in the beginning of today's lesson, what Guru, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha really means. Okay? All right. So, in other words, let's put it in plain language. Truth, conscience, universal truth, and conscience. That's all it counts. Everything else is people's fancy. Okay? Doesn't matter you follow any religions or not. Doesn't matter you have any spiritual practice or not. No. It matters for certain people, but doesn't really matter, because ultimately it is universal truths and conscience you have to adhere to. Do you understand what I mean? You can be atheist, you can be, you follow me as your guru, your Buddhist. You can go become a Christian. That's not a problem. That's all just people's fancy. That's the conditionings of their environment. They have to suffer through their own destiny. Do you understand that? Three sufferings. All right. So don't be so stuck up. What matters ultimately is universal truth and conscience. Everything else is just people's fancy. All right. So I am not that, fanatical about certain folks who are very fanatical about things. Okay, but nothing wrong with them. That's just their condition, their journey, their suffering they have to go through, their path. But ultimately, universal path in the Buddha's teaching is the path of awareness, Bodhi path. It's the bodhicitta, the mind awareness. You try to awaken it first, and that's where you have a right view. If you haven't awakened your bodhicitta, then you don't really have right view. You have a conditioned reactionary bias view of your own fancy. Right? So at least that much understanding that we can, focus on the real practice. All right. So sometimes folks deviate away from, the truth. That's quite normal. Yeah. But other people's problem, don't make it your own. You have your own problem to deal with it. You want to be the 1% who becomes successful. You want to be the 99% who's always stuck. That's what you should be focusing on. Okay. As you continue to chant, you enter that state, right? Then once you complete these 4 normals, right? Then next, you're gonna visualize. Next, okay, they will come with different mantra later on. Next, visualize on the crown of Buddha Shakyamuni. Remember the mandala we covered, that last week. Crown of Buddha Shakyamuni is the Vajradhara, and all the, the participants, the members of in the mandala, in the family, if you will. We call that the family members, right? It all enters the body of Vajradhara, sitting on top of Shakyamuni Buddha. So such as Manjushri along with the all the associates of Manjushri. It enters Manjushri's body, and all the associates of Maitreya enters Maitreya body. All the associates or members of the guru enters guru's body, and they all enter into Vajradhara's body. Okay, so I'm assuming you already have some idea and retain some of the visualization from the last few lessons. So when I say this, you should be able to picture this yourself. If you're unfamiliar with, then you'll be at loss. What am I talking about? How do you visualize that? That shouldn't be difficult, right? You should at least follow the lesson so far. And that's when you chant the next mantra. Okay, as you visualize, I say, you finish your 4 normal. Next, you visualize all this enters the body of Vajradhara sitting on top of the Shakyamuni Buddha's crown. Okay, and you chant this mantra. Here's the mantra. Vajradhara's mantra. Dayata Om Mune Mune Mahamunaya Soha. Okay, and then that's Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra. Then next mantra is Vajradhara mantra. Om Banzadara. Vajradhara. Banzadara. Hong Hong. Om Ah Hong. Okay. Each mantra, the 2 mantra here, each chant 108 times. So first chant 100 times. Dayata Om Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. All right. Second mantra chant 108 times. Om Banzadara. Hong Hong. Om Ah Hong. All right. Once you finish the chanting, visualize the Vajradhara. Remember that everybody enter Vajradhara's body, right? The Vajradhara, descends, enters Shakyamuni Buddha's body. Okay, remember the Vajradhara is sitting on the crown of Shakyamuni Buddha. So all and everybody enters Vajradhara's body. Vajradhara on the crown of Shakyamuni Buddha descends and enters Shakyamuni Buddha's body. Okay. The Maitreya, remember Maitreya is on Shakyamuni Buddha's right, enters Shakyamuni's, right armpit. Okay, enters through the right armpit. That's what the 6 tusked elephant is about. It's telling the life stories of Buddha here. Then Manjushri enters. You remember Manjushri's bodhisattva is on the left of Shakyamuni Buddha. Enters into Shakyamuni Buddha through the left armpit into the body, Shakyamuni Buddha's body. Okay, then the gurus, remember the guru in the front of Shakyamuni Buddha entered into Shakyamuni Buddha's heart. Okay? And then in the Shakyamuni's Buddha, his heart shining with the light, illuminating a very bright light from the heart. At the end of the light, the ray of light, they are right shining, infinite numbers of rays of light. At the very end of the ray of light is a tiny little Shakyamuni Buddha. Can you imagine that? So eventually everyone enters the heart of Shakyamuni Buddha, right? And then Shakyamuni Buddha's heart shining with a bright light. So the light shines out in every direction. At the end of the ray, every ray of the light is a tiny little Shakyamuni Buddha. So this image, let me say this. You go on YouTube, you type out quantum theories. This image picture is actually try to describe to you the whole idea of what quantum theories without all the scientific lingos. That's the best I can tell you. Right? And that's what meditation and the mantra, why do they work if you really get it right? Because it's based on quantum realities of the cosmos, the universe. Now, you won't work for that very well because most, as I say, 99% of the people suck at it. They flunk. They don't really make it happen. Less than 1% really accomplish it. But doesn't mean it won't happen eventually because we all got to start from somewhere. Maybe after a few lifetimes of learning, conditioning, practice, you lay enough seeds in your subconsciousness that eventually they'll come up. And that's how you create your own journey, your karma, your destiny, right? So if you want to learn a little bit about quantum theories, go onto YouTube, type it out and watch a few videos, if you will. Now, of course, the base brain powers in the world right now that figure out the real application of quantum theory, they are the Chinese, right? They're the quantum satellite and quantum communication, right? They're the only one figured out so far how to actually apply that in real scientific, technological way, right? All right. So at the end, remember, at the end of every ray of light is a tiny Shakyamuni Buddha, right? And it shines in every direction. To where? To the crown of all and every one of your parents transmigrating in the sixth path. Okay? Okay, so it's like a this is here. This is a ray of light, like a line, a thread. And end of that ray is the tiny Shakyamuni Buddha. It goes to the crown. Okay? Of every one of your parents in the sixth, transmigrating in the sixth path. So every one of your parents in the sixth path, they all turn into Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay? What this is telling you is like every one of your cells in your body is your parent, if you will. In your heart, when they shine the light, every one of your cells activated, right? It's like a tiny little engine. Here's a ray of light. At the end, they send out Shakyamuni Buddha, right? To every one of your parents' crown enters, and everyone your parents transmigrating through the sixth path, they all turn into Shakyamuni Buddha. So in other words, merge into one with all of creation, dissolve into one body, dissolving into one body, dissolve into one. You heard this in our school's meditation quite often, right? But in order to dissolve into one body, first you gotta develop and yourself to enter that state of what? Before dissolving into one body, first, you gotta have, before that, you gotta have experience light, blissfulness, peace. And before that, you gotta have emptiness. Before that, you gotta what's on your mind, right? Do you understand? There's a step to this. You gotta have right view, in other words. If you don't have right view, you're not going to have the emptiness. You're not going to wake up bodhicitta. You're not going to really have experience peacefulness, peace, and you feel like you're very light. Everything is literally physical. You feel light, like your body start to. That's why suddenly you can glide through space. That kind of light feeling sensation. Okay, physically, you haven't you haven't gone anywhere. Your feet still on the ground, but you feel like you're lifting off, right? That kind of a sensation. Yes, that kind of sensation will happen in due time if you take it step by step. All right. And they'll enter. All right. Enter into your parents. Every parents, they all tend to Shakyamuni Buddha, right? Then this infinite numbers of tiny little Shakyamuni Buddha, they're all your parents, right? Remember this? So it's like in the full foundation meditation, we have this kind of visualization. Light shines to very far away in every direction. And eventually they will all come back shining towards you, enter your body. Same idea. It's the same imagery, just with a different kind of a specific descriptive image. Yeah. Okay. Same idea. Full foundation in the full foundation meditation. Okay. In this case, all this tiny little Shakyamuni Buddha, they all come back, enters your body, they all infinite number Shakyamuni Buddha, all enters your body. Okay. They all turn to this tiny, infinitesimal, tiny little, Shakyamuni Buddha enters in your body, infinite numbers of it. And then the original main Shakyamuni Buddha, when you visualize in the beginning of the mandala, right? Shrink to only a few inches tall, and then enters through your crown. Okay. Now, the tiny little Shakyamuni Buddha, infinite number Shakyamuni Buddha from all your parents enters in your body. But this original Shakyamuni Buddha image that you visualize in the very beginning of the mandala enters through your crown. Shrink to only a few inches, enters your crown. Okay. It descends into your body. Then, as if in that very moment, you are Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, so this is in the tantric meditation practice, this tantric tradition. We call the state of samaya. Samaya, not samadhi. Samaya, the original vow. Now, if what's on your mind is about what this visualization has been doing so far since the last few lessons, that's what's on your mind. Okay, and you chant this mantra. Okay, you are held to this, adhere to these four normal ideas that we just covered today. Then that's what's on your mind. And then by the samaya, the original vow of the Buddha, he shall descend. So you merge into one, right? Merge into one, not two and not different. Now become one, you become Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, of course, don't start to turn egotistic, fantasize, I'm special, I'm Shakyamuni Buddha. It's not about that. It's about to become the ideals. If you start to fancy and fantasize, oh, I have a Zen experience, Buddha appeared to me, I'm a Buddha or something, and you instead of the ideal, you focus on idol, you're going to, start to deviate from the real focus of the practice, right? It's the idea of all this visualization practice, what they're representing. That's what you want to accomplish, not the idol in this case. All right. So now yourself, I am Shakyamuni Buddha, all right? Yourself turns that. So in the heart, the moon, the full moon disk, full moon circle is the moon. Hong, the cerebral word, Hong, okay, appears there. There's the Shakyamuni Buddha mantra. Encircle the Hong, right? Encircle the Hong in the middle. Encircle the Hong. Now from the 6 o'clock, go clockwise. Encircle the Hong and the heart. I mean, in the moon, in your heart. Okay. What's the Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra? Earlier we said Dayata, Mune Mune, Dayata Om, Mune Mune Mahamunaye Soha. Again, Dayata Om, Mune Mune Mahamunaye Soha. Dayata Om, Mune Mune Mahamunaye Soha. Okay. So you visualize this mantra wheel. We call the mantra chakra, the wheel of the mantra syllable words. Okay. The next, visualize your whole body, yourself, also enters this mantra chakra, the wheel of the mantra. You enter. So in other words, you shrink it, you enter the wheel mantra. You know, your body dissolves into the mantra. Then the mantra wheel enters the center C syllable. It's not the home. The home, you know, on our home soha. Remember, home is on the heart. Okay. Then the mantra encircles the home. But there's a C syllable of Shakyamuni C syllable mantra, which is a single C syllable. It's called Mu, M-U, Mu. Okay. My theory is, you know, I'm just fantasizing. My theory is this may be having some connection with the legendary land of Mu. I don't know. Yeah. So I forgot. Did I explain about Mu in this class or in the I Ching class? I think it's recorded project Mu. I talk. Oh, was it on Saturday class? I'm getting the three class mixing together, right? Mu. I'll explain that. You know, if you haven't heard this part about Mu, and the and the you know Jiahu inscription, and that's on the I Ching class video, I think. And the Sumerians, you can, you know, this kind of a ancient civilization hunch of stories. You know, it's quite interesting actually. So the mantra will enter the single C syllable of Shakyamuni Buddha. The single syllable sound or vibration is Mu, M-U, Mu. Mu enters the home. Remember, there's the home. And all of the mantra will enters Mu. Mu enters home. Home. You know how the Sanskrit home or the Tibetan Sanskrit font home on top of home is a tiny little circle, right? All of the script of the home enter that tiny little circle. They all dissolve into that tiny little circle. Okay, and this tiny, circle, we call it just a dot, a pink size dot, enters what? This we call the emptiness dot, right? Enters emptiness. Eventually, everything dissolves into this tiny dot, and this tiny dot enters emptiness. Yeah. And therefore, all and every place, all and everywhere, with no boundaries, right? No limitation, all and everywhere. It's not about front. Or is it where am I visualizing this? In your front, in your back, none of that. There's no I. I'm here, that kind of I sense. There's no others. So they all, turn into this tiny little circle. It's a zero. If you haven't get it yet, it's Wuji in the Taoist tradition. And from these zero things, right, it dissolves into emptiness. So the sense of I versus other people is gone. Completely dissolved. Nirvana, if you haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah. They all become this or accomplish into this emptiness. That's the only word they describe. So there's no descriptive. In that sense, then you are there eternal. Okay? So eternity is, in this sense, is saying, the great peace or the great paranirvana is in this kind of a void or emptiness. What does that mean? I don't know. But Tao is called Wuji. In the Tao tradition, called Wuji. In the Buddhist tradition, just say, emptiness, shunyata. Yeah? And you are there eternally. But remember, there's no sense of I or others. Okay, so that now in other words, it's like talking about Zen. You have merged with all of creation as one, dissolving into one body, but there's no body. Remember? It's not a physical body or even an abstract conceptual body. Just there's no separation. You're just there. But you everywhere. There's no boundary. When you have a sense of the self, you still have a boundary. I versus others. But in this case, there's no boundary. But you're just there, but there's no boundary. There's no I or others in the sense. Okay, so you enter into what is called deep samadhi, if you will. Then you are in the state of Zen or samadhi, literally. How long? Doesn't matter. It's up to you. And when you're ready to come out of the state of samadhi, you simply, in this emptiness, appears. Hong. Hong, turn to Shakyamuni Buddha. And then you will come out of your samadhi state. So in other words, if your practice come to a stage, you're able to make this journey completely, and you enter that state of Zen state or samadhi state, then you know how to come out of it. And in other words, by will, your natural happen. You know how to get in once. You know how to come out once. Then you can revisit again and again anytime you want to. All right. So that's the second preparatory practice. So how many lessons we actually have to spend on just cover in more details, right? So go over, jot down your notes. Yeah. Type out your notes. Just read over this whole idea. I give you a lot of description, right? But I also try to make a few commentary, try to enlighten you on the understanding of what they're describing about. It is like a mythology, but it's not about fictional fantasy. It is try to tell you something very difficult to put into words. How many people in the world today really figure out what quantum theory is all about? Even I am befuddled by the idea of quantum theory, because our sense organ can only perceive. So in our little human brain, the concepts to us is only three-dimensional plus time. That's how we perceive. Beyond that, we simply don't perceive. What's the perception of that? How do you conceptualize it? We use analogy, try to relate to it. But quantum theory is way beyond that. And the I Ching course, that's why I want to delve into a little bit more focus. Not for this course. This Wednesday course is more for Tantra Buddhist practice, right? I Ching course, we have to do divination. That's why we want to focus a little bit more on. So this past Sunday's I Ching course, Sally, wasn't that fun? Have you tried with a deck of cards and see if you always win? I showed them how to play with a deck of cards. They will always win 90% of the time. So don't play, don't gamble. The house always wins. If I play the house, I will always win 90% of the time. Yeah. Why? Sequencing, time sequencing. Always balance out. I just give you a hint. It's very simple. It's called not two and not different. Of course, interpret slightly with a different ideas of what not two, not different means. In the Tantra teaching versus in the I Ching idea of not two, not different. But the basic principle is all about balancing, harmony and balancing, yin yang, inseparable oneness. That's the whole idea. So Tantra is the same. Tantra is about yin yang, inseparable oneness. So the main deity that represents this Tantra idea is Shiva, half male, half man. It's like a Fuxi and Nuo. conjoining together, man and woman, right, as one, inseparable, entwined together, double spiral, and they, you cannot separate. It's one body. They conjoin together. Yin yang inseparable oneness. Tantra the same, just like a Shiva, just like an ancient Chinese, civilization, Fuxuan were picturing double helix. All right. So I hope you get the idea. Hope to see you guys next week. All right. That's it for today.